Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. I'm your host, Ril Gerald Quinn, episode 870, season 15. As always, I am joined by one Robert Sapp. How you doing, Mr. Sapp?
Oh, I'm doing well. Great to talk to you after a fantastic Super Bowl, to be honest with you.
Yes, we are putting a bow on this NFL season. And listen, the season, like, before we get into the themes, the season ended the way it should have ended. The right team won, and we ended with a close game. That was kind of like the theme of this season. Like all these games were close, a record number of close games. So the season
Yep.
ended the way it should have ended, and the right team won. Themes to me, greatness wins out. What were your themes in terms of this game?
They are who we thought they were.
All right.
Kansas
Yes.
City, that thing is a machine over there. It's a machine. They're so good. Yep. They are who we thought they were.
So let's get right into it. Kansas City takes out Philadelphia, and I did pick a field goal Kansas City win. By the way, I didn't think the game would be as high as scoring, but I did say Kansas City by a field goal, and it
Mm-hmm.
turned out to be Kansas City by a field goal, 38-35. This is a to me a historic win for that franchise because it puts a period on this just tremendous run that they've had over the course of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
With the five
Agreed.
conference championships, now what the second Super Bowl in 4 years, the third, of course, making the third appearance. But this one is very, and again, it's eerie how similar they are to Golden State. Like when Golden State won the championship this past year in 2022, people were like, okay, now, like the other ones didn't, it's not like the other ones didn't count, but that there were no question marks about the Golden State's last championship. There was no question marks at all. It wasn't about Durant. It wasn't about other people having injured players. Like, no, this is what it was. And Kansas City, very much similar. I even think this Kansas City one is even just as big to me because of number one, how hard is to me is harder to win a Super Bowl than an NBA championship with the injury factor and just with the parity of the NFL. But you have a situation where I think that I look at past Super Bowls that kind of like were benchmarks and kind of like we look back and say, hey, this was the beginning of something or the continuation of something. You go back to Dallas, San Francisco, the catch, that was the beginning of a dynasty. The 92 Cowboys beating San Francisco in Candlestick, that was the beginning of a dynasty. And what have you. This to me cemented a dynasty. A dynasty or a cemented run. I don't even like that term dynasty, whatever, where people, it gets thrown around, but this cemented this run that they're on, because you have a historic, a legendary coach and a legendary quarterback, and now there are absolutely zero questions about their immortality as far as their football being football immortals. Like that's not even. It's just a matter of how far that how many more will they win, how many more records, how many records will be broken, things of that nature. Those are the only questions that we're going to be asking moving forward. There are no more question marks about Andy Reid as they had. To me, there shouldn't have been anyway, even before this game. But they're just you can't say anything. You can't say anything about Kansas City anymore in a negative, from a negative standpoint. Um, I have some more thoughts on this, but what were your thoughts on this game and this from a historic perspective?
Here's what I mean. Like, I'll get to history for a second, but my initial reaction is that you're wrong, and like not wrong in like any type of like for real way. Like you're seeing something wrong. Um, but this doesn't seem anything because this is the beginning. That's that. See, this is the part that people aren't see. All of y'all who focus on the NFC East and the Cowboys and whatever the hell they're doing, and who cares what they're doing, are missing this. They reinvented themselves in real time. This is the beginning. That one was a part of the old dynasty. We're at the beginning of a for real, like, nah, we about to put our foot on everybody's throats dynasty. Like, yeah, this is something. So when I say wrong, I'm literally, you're not wrong, of course. I'm literally just saying, like, no, you're underselling it. No, you're underselling it. They're about to go on a run for real. For real. Because this Patrick Mahomes, this version of him that is now getting used to, like, now, like, really see, like, doing the whole entire field thing, like, this version has just got here, just arrived in terms of, like, in all of its glory. Oh, Kansas City is a problem of all problems for everybody. Everybody needs to pay attention. That's what they meant. Like, put some respect on it everywhere. But there's no more Bills. There's no more none of that. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, and everybody else is after them. That's what this win did. They are unequivocally the best team in football until otherwise stated. Meaning somebody beats them down, then they can be the best team in football, but not until then. And beats them down for real stakes, not regular season. Nobody gives a shit about regular season. I mean, they care, but, like, no. You got to beat them to keep them from winning the championship.
Yeah, when you're building to beat them in the postseason. Yeah.
No. They ain't no building to beat that team. No. That's what I'm
that
saying.
has to be your thought process. That has to be your thought process. I'm saying you're building.
That's the irre. No. They're beyond that. They're beyond that, Real. This is what I'm saying to you. That construction, Mahomes, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, and that offensive.
You can't replicate that.
There's you can't. No, you can't attack that. You can't. So what you do is, like, in this circumstance, like you're like, it's. I mean, honestly, because I lived the Patriots, I got nothing because we couldn't figure it out. Like, they just operating at a different level. It's just a different level. That second half was a different level.
It's
just a different level. Nobody can touch that. Nobody can touch that in the league. Nobody can.
This is a great segue. Let's talk about the second half, because I was just thinking about Super Bowls in the past and second halves, great offensive second halves. Not so much great offensive games in general, but great offensive second halves. The only one that, to me, that I even put on that level, and I still would take this second half over any one that I've seen in my lifetime, but the only one, and I'm not being the homer here, but it was Super Bowl 22, the Doug Williams 35 points in the first half against Denver. That's the only one. Now, by the numbers, the Washington one was superior, but this one was better because this one, they had to be perfect in the second half to win that game. They had to be, like, they had to score on every possession. And they were, remember, that game was teetered. There were two times.
Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, they were playing no games. No,
yeah, that game, there were two occasions. There were two.
No games.
There were two times in that game where that game was teetering on being, like, where Philly was on. That game was teetering on being not a blowout, but to where Philly could have ran away with it. You had
It reminded me of that New England Seattle. Remember when Seattle went up?
Yep. By 10, but you had 14. I think this was even worse. I think this is even worse to me because you had 14.
Well, no, I'm just saying in terms of.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but so you had 14-7. Philly has the ball at midfield. Kansas City has nothing for them defensively at this point. They have nothing. Jalen Hurts is doing whatever. They have nothing for them. Jalen Hurts drops the ball. Boom, scoop and score. Nick Bolton, defensive MVP, by the way. Runs it and scores for a touchdown. And now we have a totally different ball game. Then we go 24-14 into halftime. I said to myself after the Rihanna show, or maybe even before the Rihanna show, this game is over if Kansas City doesn't score a touchdown coming out the gate. Mind you, Mahomes is limping. legitimately hurt. That was a legit, like he was legitimately basically
No. Oh,
limping.
he was in pain.
He was in
He was in
pain.
pain.
I said if they don't score a touchdown coming out the locker room, this game is over because they can't stop Philly. They couldn't. Philly had 278 yards in the first half. 278.
Oh, Philly was
In the
playing
first
no
half.
games. They were
They
playing
couldn't
no
stop.
games.
So that game was again 2 times where that game was teetering on Philadelphia just completely running away from it. So that second half that Kansas City played, which was perfect offensively, where we've never seen anything like that with the amount of pressure that was being put on them and with the quality of team that they were playing. Philadelphia is a beast of a team. That's a big time team out there.
No.
It's a big time team. Now, if you want to replicate, we talking about replicating, you can try to replicate Philadelphia from a physicality standpoint. That's more realistic in terms of trying to replicate once you're not paying your quarterback $1 zillion, which Hurts will be paid in this offseason. So that's one thing teams should actually try to replicate. But that second half that Kansas City played was the best offensive second half I've ever seen a team play in the Super Bowl. It just was. Like it was the numbers, all that, the 24 points, the numbers don't even do it remotely justice. Patrick Mahomes going 13 for 14 for 93 yards. It doesn't even do it justice. It was perfection. It was like it was a work of art from an offensive standpoint. The likes of the late Don Coryell with Bill Walsh would be proud to watch that. Like that, that's how beautiful it was. Breakdown.
It's the offensive film study for me. Like that's what just puts this into net. Like I said, I watched this in New England for 20 years. I watched them build this monster.
So
and such a big piece of that was just like their ability to just their offensive recall goes back just years. So like they're built, like what they can adjust to, you can't compete with that.
What changed? No, because I'm about to lead you into what you brought up earlier when you texted me. What changed from the first half to the second half from offensively for Kansas City?
Yeah.
And the second part is besides them having the ball, because they didn't have the ball in the first half, and they didn't have the ball in the first half.
No, Philly was executing their game plan. They were executing their game plan to a
in the second half. What changed, and why couldn't Philadelphia do anything about it?
Yep. So the article that I sent you talked a lot about like the jet motion sweep and like the different things that they did with that. But let's simplify that even more. Kansas City confused Philadelphia with motion in their formation. It's that simple. Now, how they did it looks different from series to series, play to play sometimes, and different things like that. But they were able to identify. I was listening more to different people, and they were talking about a little bit more, but I can't remember all the details, so I'm not going to do that. But they were able to identify through film study, which all teams do. Like, there's not anything secret or new. They were able to identify what makes it special is not only can they identify it, but they can come up with the right game plan in real time against what the defense is trying to do to them. And then you have a quarterback that can execute it to a T. And the reason I keep coming back to New England on this is because what they did, you said, when you texted me, you said skill, and you're absolutely right. They out-executed them to death. It wears on you as a D. I've seen it a billion times. I swear to you, I saw that defense break right before my eyes because they couldn't get there. He would not allow them to get there, either through design of the play, how quick the ball came out, or just, Patrick Mahomes' God-given ability to just get away. So it was the motion that created, in particular, the jet sweeps. Like, I think what we all noticed it on was the 2 wide open touchdowns. And what was fantastic about that is that it was a fake jet sweep, right? So it's like, I'm gonna do one of those jet sweeps where the wide receiver kind of like comes like really quickly past me and then pass the ball. But here's the thing: usually with a fake jet sweep, the receiver keeps going in the same direction, right? So it's like I fake it to him, and then I fake it, like let's say I'm faking it with my left hand as the quarterback, and then I'm going to roll out to the opposite side because the defense is going to flow that way, right? Like that's kind of like normally how it goes. But what you saw with this one was they would fake the jets, and then the receiver would stop and then go the other way, and that effed Philly up. That's effed them up on both of those wide open touchdowns from opposite sides of the formation with different players in the roles. Just messed them up completely. Just messed them up. They had no clue. As you can see, they were wide open, walk-in touchdown. You know, and that's a professional, that's a professional, beyond professional. That's a fantastic defense on the other side. That's
number 2 defense in the league.
They don't just get mixed up and confused just because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And they've seen scheme after scheme as well, like all the things. So you have to execute that thing to perfection in order to confuse them. Because anybody can say, we're gonna put in some fake reverse jet sweeps in our game plan. Sure. But you gotta make that. You gotta sell that. You gotta make it, and you have to set it up through play calling as well. And then you gotta do it at the highest level in the biggest game.
I keep going back to this, but I keep going back to this. But I can't help but not to keep going back to this. It's the same exact thing Golden State did to Boston. Like they broke them. They out with that execution. That like you said, that and Boston came in with the best defense.
We're going to execute you to death.
Yeah. You're mentally going to break.
Execute you.
And you're mentally going to break.
And that's what they just said that. They just said that. They said we're going to create the opportunities for us. But here's the trick. They were doing a lot of two shell. They were doing a lot of different things. Philly was, and so we're going to execute with the opportunities that the defense is giving us, and that's the difference. Well, a lot of teams want to do their execution, but want to do it past the scope of what is possible.
But we all
want to run their plays.
We also saw some maturing by Andy Reid from last year in regards to the run game, because you said this last week that they had to run the ball. It wasn't about how many carries, but they had to have effective runs. They outgained Philly 158 to 113 on the ground. And again, a lot of those runs that were created were because of just a flawless execution. They're not a power team where they just mash you and great as the offensive line is. They have a great offensive line. We'll talk more about that. They don't just move you out the way, and they're 5-yard gaps to where you like someone similar to other teams that are a power running team. They're not a power running team, but that execution as far as how they run their offense creates those running lanes like that, and I saw that. So they definitely ran the ball. They definitely ran the ball at a high clip, and really, I mean, again, they out Philly from that standpoint. If you told me before this game who's going to have more rushing yards, I would definitely give Philly a major advantage from that standpoint. So that I give Andy Reid credit even from that standpoint. He got knocked a lot during his time in Philadelphia for not running the ball enough. Last year, we saw him probably not run the ball enough again in that Cincinnati game where they were playing that two, those three only rushing three man rushes where he could have ran the ball. This time he wasted no time. He's like, no, we're even down by 10. We're gonna run. We're still gonna be consistent with some of these runs, and they stayed with it throughout the course of the whole entire game.
Yeah. Yep.
The people, when you see wide receivers wide open. It wasn't just those 2 touchdown passes. He was even over the course of just drive in the second half. Their receivers were wide open. That is scheme. That's scheme. Philadelphia has a above average secondary. Okay, along with a great pass rush. That wasn't getting home.
All three levels, they're fantastic defense. They really are.
Yes, there are no weaknesses. They have no weaknesses, no holes in that defense, none. But they're received. But Juju Smith-Schuster, all those guys, they were wide open in the second half. I mean, wide open. And this was basically nothing. They basically got nothing out of Kelsey in the second half. That was the thing about it. They got nothing out of Kelsey in the second half. Kelsey did his damage in the first half.
Well, because Philadelphia is a professional team. You cannot, absolutely. But that's what's so impressive, right? Of course, they're going to take away your best weapon. Any for real defense should take away your best weapon. Absolutely. It's as elementary as ABC. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? When we take away what you do best, what are you going to do? That's when the real game starts.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're going against another great team, you should not be able to do what you do best.
No.
That shouldn't be a thing. A really good deep, somebody that can take it away, that's capable of taking it away. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, they didn't have Travis Kelce like that in the second half, because the Philadelphia defense did exactly what they were supposed to do, and yet they still found a way. As a matter of fact, they found so many ways.
Yeah, listen, I had next to no problem with Philadelphia's performance overall. Like, you scored 35 points. Outside the Jalen Hurts fumble, which you can't drop the ball.
Yep.
That was it. They played outside that. They played an A game. Like they scored more.
But
like, nobody has ever scored.
See, y'all don't live this life. Y'all in the NFC don't live this life. Y'all don't know what this is like. Y'all have no clue. That's the pressure Kansas City puts on you. You have to play perfect.
Yes.
You have to.
Yep.
And you still are exactly. You're still in all that guarantees you that you're in the game. If they're playing their A game, you can't make one single mistake. As soon as that happened, I said, that's the game. In my head, I said, that's the game. Watch. That'll be the game. Because you can't do it. You just can't do it against them.
So to you, and I think we're on the same page about this, to you, there really was nothing that Philly could do as far as everybody likes to do the Monday morning quarterback. Oh, they didn't make adjustments. There was we're talking next level coaching, quarterbacking. We are talking amongst a handful of greatest quarterback coach combo in the history of the sport. When they're operating at that level, there's really nothing you can do. What adjust to what? What are we I walked away just thinking about. That's why my theme was greatness prevails. This was just pure greatness.
I just having seen it once and kind of viewing it again, but just in spots. I don't know what adjustment Philly could have made in that second half, to be honest with you, because Patrick Mahomes was freaking on one. It just is that simple. I mean, it honestly does come down to that. He missed one pass, Ril. He missed one.
Yes, that's it.
In the entire second half. And I think that was the one they scored on every possession. It was only not the kneel down. It was when all the things just at the end of the game where everything. I've seen this. I've seen it. When he gets that look in his eye and that thing, it's just there's nothing. There's nothing. And that's why we said we're messing with an immortal. The immortals, you can't do anything against them.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's why
they're not going to make a mistake.
That's why they're immortal.
They're not going to do that. You can't do anything. You can't do anything against that. You need one on your side. That's essentially you need one too who can match that, because ain't no stopping that. Once they get on one, ain't no stopping it. And Patrick, he was lasered. It's just everybody leave his ankle alone. He plays better. Stop. Leave his ankle alone. Stop hurting that boy. He's vicious. He threw interception this postseason.
No, he didn't. No. I didn't even think about that. He did. No.
Leave his ankle. Leave his ankle alone. Leave it alone.
So let's stay.
It doesn't help. It's not
Let's
helpful.
let's stay with Mahomes here from a like historic perspective. Continue with that theme.
Yeah.
So to me, I was going through the list of the quarterbacks. I
He
feel
leaked
like
over a lot of. He leaked over a lot.
no. Let me give you mine that he leaked over.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers, Young,
Yep.
Breeze,
Yep.
and Favre.
Yep. All bye.
Yep.
Rearview mirror.
I already had him. By the way, I already had him over Roethlisberger. I already had him over Roethlisberger.
He's looking, and that's fine. I mean, but Roethlisberger has 2. So now, I mean, like, and I agree with that. And that's fine. But still, people, rightfully so, would argue Roethlisberger has 2 and a whole shitload of stats to back up his things and playoff appearance and everything like that. And so I would hear that. But he is like, this is who I think he is squarely. He is squarely looking Peyton Manning right in the eye.
Well, here are the guys. I got there are 4 guys. I got 5. There are 5 guys. I got 5 ahead of him. Brady, Montana, Manning, Elway, and I gotta get an old heads one, Unitas, because Unitas kind of ushered in a new era with the core. He changed how quarterback was played. I gotta get an old heads one.
It's the exact. I keep going back to New England because it's so eerily similar, but it's the exact same feeling that I had with Brady when Brady got 3 early on, and I feel like this way Patrick Mahomes too. Everything is just all. This is all padding his Hall of Fame resume. It's just how great he is going to be. I didn't know Brady was going to end up the greatest of all time, but when you got 3 Super Bowls at an early age, everything else is just padding it. Mahomes is even further ahead than that because he has the stats now as well. Brady didn't have the stats early on.
And with the MVPs. He has the stats, the MVPs. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the MVPs are going to come with the stats. So, yeah, he has all of that early on as well. I mean, yeah. I mean, he even said it, you're always chasing Brady. Honestly, that's who he's chasing.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
If he, to your point, if he never wins another one, but he keeps, of course, he'll keep compiling and everything like that. I mean, I think, and it's, God, this pains me, because Peyton Manning is my favorite player, but
he's going to pass Manning. He's going to pass Manning. He's going to pass Manning. That's just be, and I love Peyton Manning. He's going to pass Manning.
I know that. I mean, I'm just thinking if he doesn't even win another Super Bowl. So that's what I'm saying.
I still think he's going to pass Manning. Even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's going to pass Manning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what having the 2 Super Bowls in your bag early, which is what fucked Aaron Rodgers up. Because he should have got another one early. So like should have, but you know what I mean. But having those early, I mean, all you're doing is you're just going up the list of immortals. That's it.
And more importantly,
he rolls out of the way early on. It's all great.
He killed your favorite stat. The first quarterback to win the passing yards title.
He murdered everything. He murdered everything. He's an immortal.
That was the Robert Sapp stat for 20 years, Rob.
He did a double whammy. He did the MVP passing leader.
Yep. So he also he is the only
he can't be stopped. He's a monster.
Only Montana and Brady have
quarterback monster.
Only Brady and Montana have won multiple Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowl MVPs, and multiple regular season MVPs. Even Peyton Manning doesn't have 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Now, Manning has multiple Super Bowls and, of course, multiple regular season MVPs, but he doesn't have. Remember the last Super Bowl, he was, basically the Walking Dead, and that's the Von Miller Super Bowl. So Mahomes he is who he is. Like he's just in a different. He's at a different. He's on another level. Like literally on another level. Like it's not like we know. I don't want to hear another debating of who's the best. Oh no, there is no debate. Let's put that to bed.
There's zero debate. There's zero debate. It's not even put. He put it to bed. There's zero debate. There's just zero. There's zero. There's nothing to be said.
Who would you start your team? Or who
clapback? There's no nothing.
No.
The list starts with Patrick Mahomes, and then it's everybody else after that. Then you can start. you start ranking them how you feel like ranking them after that. But it's number one is Patrick Mahomes.
Questions for Sapp. A team to watch in 2023.
Great question. I mean, I think everybody will be on Jacksonville. So that will definitely be a team to watch. But I'm trying to dig deeper than that. And then like offhand, I'm very interested to see what the Giants do. Very interested to see what the Giants do. I'm very interested to see what the Jets do at QB. That could be fun if they actually get somebody in there that can play ball, like for real. So I think if there's a team that I'm just genuinely fascinated by what they can potentially do with competence, it's the New York Jets. That would be my team to watch.
I had them in mind
because I do think they're gonna land somebody that can play.
The Jets are a great one. That's a great one. I think I got my eyes on San Francisco because I just want to know how Kyle Shanahan is going to figure this quarterback attempt to figure this quarterback shit out.
They need to go get it. They need to go get a guy like for real. They just need to.
I just want to see
make it happen.
And I don't doubt Kyle Shanahan. I don't. But I just want to see.
Because he's playing around. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you see what Shanahan, you see what Reid is doing with his perfect quarterback. You need to go get a dude. Stop playing around with these projects. Go get yourself a guy. And let's go.
I'm very intrigued to see what they do with that quarterback situation because their roster is complete outside of it. Their roster, we know they have a great roster, but boy, whoo.
Go get yourself a guy.
Speaking of quarterbacks,
that is my advice to San Francisco.
Yeah, please. Where will Aaron Rodgers end up?
I mean, like, and that's why the Jets are so intriguing to me. Because I think that could potentially be a possible location for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like it. The only thing that stops me is that it's Aaron Rodgers, but it doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere else. It doesn't make sense. So I can't foresee the circumstance that really is beneficial to him leaving and going anywhere else. So if you ask me, I would say, if you made me bet amount of money that meant something to me, I would say he stays with Green Bay, but I am very intrigued with this notion of him going to the Jets. I'm very intrigued by it.
I'm leaning towards the Jets, to be honest with you. I'm leaning towards the Jets.
I'm very intrigued by it.
I think that I just think that they're going to just throw everything at Green Bay. I think they're gonna force Green Bay to make that deal. That's how sweet I think they're gonna make the pot. To be honest with you, like I think draft picks, I just think that they're going to go all in on Aaron Rodgers.
I will say,
and I'm not even saying that shit. I'm not even saying they should do it. By the way, I'm just saying.
I will say, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, buy beware on that one. I would love Aaron Rodgers with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, like that.
From a football standpoint, yes, I would.
He's not a walking. He's not. No. Here's what I mean. He's not a walking offense. He's not a Peyton Manning. I think what the Jets want is they want a walking offense. That's why they would throw.
That's why it's buyer beware.
Kitchen sink, and that's why it's buyer beware. And that's exactly why it's buyer beware.
Because Green Bay is going to get.
Honestly, with the Jets, I don't think there's much of a difference between an Aaron Rodgers and a Derek Carr in that system. You just need in the system currently constructed, because what you need is somebody who is just going to be competent and be able to make the plays when they're available.
Now, what you're saying is you're not comparing What you're
All right,
saying is
no,
they wouldn't
no,
have to
stop.
give
No,
up
no,
near
no.
the
Let
compensation
me
to get
finish.
Derek
Let me
Carr.
finish my Let me finish. Let me finish the statement. But Derek Carr can do those things, but he doesn't bring that other stuff.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers, yes, he would not turn the ball over. He would give your defense like the advantage in that space. You can coach Derek Carr, somebody of that measure, to do the same thing. But Aaron Rodgers, like that other ish is just too much. And he said, not especially for a young team as well. They'll look up to him, and he'll be the grand poobah. Anything he says will go. And so, if he's completely bought in, perfect. But when has Aaron Rodgers been completely bought in? Right? It's been years.
There are a lot of red flags. Now I'm thinking that it wouldn't be like the Jets, like New York and Aaron Rodgers. I don't like that. It has potential for this. It does have potential for disaster. It's a lot. I'm actually like I didn't like I would from a content standpoint, I would love to see it, but if I were a Jet fan, I'd be like, ooh, like if you now a Jet fan will get excited because they have a quarterback forever.
A Jet fan, no, they may not feel any type of way about it because
they haven't had a quarterback. But as a football fan, somebody on the outside looking in, I'm like, ooh.
That's the people in the office actually cutting the checks and doing the thing. Buy beware on that. Buy beware. Just buy beware. They're gonna do it. Of course, they'll do it if it can happen. They'll make it. Of course, all that stuff. But I'm not instantly. That move doesn't instantly give me shivers. Make me think.
No,
that's it. Shop closed in the AFC. Like
not at all.
Not even close.
Who won the week? Obviously, this is like, this is Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, like circa 2020. This is Bill Walsh, Joe Montana of 2023, basically. That's what we're looking at with these offensive geniuses who just are just a perfect fit. I mean, what else can you say? Like Andy Reid got his quarterback. And I'm glad he gave Eric Bieniemy a shout out. That he made it a point to toss him.
He's gonna give him a shout. Like that's his guy. Like Reid's not shading him.
No,
he's not doing nothing. It's just brace his ass to leave.
Yeah. But I'm glad he mentioned that right after the post game and right when they were on the podium. But this is a unstoppable force right now.
I mean, honestly, please God hire Eric Bieniemy. Not only just because he deserves it and blah blah all the things, just break that shit up.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
Break it up. Just break it up. Break it up.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
Because Bieniemy and Spagnuolo, Andy Reid at the head, that is too good. It's just too good.
So it reminds me. So Spagnuolo,
it reminds me of Cornell and Weiss and that, when they had that dynamic going, and they were just clicking on all effing levels. Like Spagnuolo's not he doesn't. Of course, they don't have the talent on that end.
No, but here's where Spagnuolo. Here's where Spagnuolo is great in big games, right? So
big on it.
In the second half of that game, right? It was a 3rd and 2.
Yep.
It's 20. What was it? 27. No, it was 28-27 at that point. Eagles had the ball. Kansas City had just scored. He throws out. It was a 3rd and 2, and he threw a blitz at Hurts that he hadn't seen all game. I don't think he had seen all game, and they had to, of course, he scrambled and had to throw the ball out of bounds. Next thing you know, Kansas City gets the ball to go up 35-27. That is the type of shit that you can't that just it is what it is. That's what Steve Spagnuolo does. He will save something for the right time, for the perfect time to throw at you, and then to get your team to get his defense off the field. So but they hadn't seen that type of blitz the entire game. I'm sure he was saving that for that particular moment. So that's where Spagnuolo is valuable. That's where he's valuable. He knows in these big games, he knows when to throw the right defense and in terms of just know with the right wrinkle to throw off an offense in the right particular moment. So that I gotta give them credit
Yep.
for that particular call. It was a great call because they had not seen that blitz all game long. Like they
Nope.
blitz hurts that time, but not with that particular package. Like that was like I like okay, this is like some next level shit. Biggest disappointment, it clearly was the field. Like you can't fucking have the Super Bowl $800,000 turf and players busting their ass left and right. This is an embarrassment to the league. I'm sorry, George Toma, 94 years old, the side fighter. It's time to go. It's time to retire. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you had 2 weeks, no, fuck it, you had the whole year to get this field right. And it's like, you help me out here, right? So they said that I had players said that this was like the worst field they played on. They said that this was like we remember when we played here week 1 because Kansas City played Arizona week 1. We were slipping. This was not the same field though. I thought they bring in a new turf to the Super Bowl. So that's why I'm confused. Like this is not the same. This is not the same field that they played on in like that Arizona plays on during the regular season. This is like a specialized, like I said, $800,000 turf that they bring in specifically for the game. So I don't understand like how. Again, this is the NFL. You're a $20 billion product. It's inexcusable. Like you just can't happen. Like it just can't happen. I mean, luckily it didn't. A big play wasn't decided and something like that. But this, I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's fair.
So clearly, to me, the game was still great regardless. But you can't. I mean, come on, yeah, $800,000 turf. Like I said, I didn't like George Toma is I mean, he once was a legend. He's still a legend, but you know, it's time to pass it on to somebody else, man. Just So the season ends perfectly the way it should have ended. Like I said earlier, the right team won. Great game. Fantastic quarterback play. Really, you can't ask for more out of a Super Bowl, to be honest with you, outside of it going to overtime. It's gonna be very interesting for Philadelphia. We know what Kansas City's gonna do. They're gonna be who they are. Philadelphia is in a position similar to Cincinnati now, because now life gets real from the standpoint of you have to pay your quarterback in this offseason.
Pay all the bills that are due.
You gotta pay the bill. Yeah, the bills, rent is due.
Mm-hmm.
Rent is due.
Mm-hmm.
And now, the coach is it's gonna be that much harder to like obviously you're not gonna be able to keep everybody. So from that standpoint, they'll be very interesting to watch next year, moving forward. Is that we know how challenging that has been for franchises with even better quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees than Jalen Hurts. Once those quarterbacks have gotten paid, which makes what Kansas City's done that much more remarkable. Like they won the Super Bowl after their quarterback got paid. Now that contract is it's basically it's a great contract, but it's now they're used to that contract within their salary cap. So Kansas City's just going to add to their roster and probably I mean Kansas City will probably come back with a better roster in 2023 than they had this year.
They have the head start. They
yes.
know how to work. They'll know how to work it better because they would have done it before everybody else.
But
they got the head start.
The Philly thing would be interesting.
I can't believe they figured this out this soon. I truly can't. I truly can't.
I like again. I wasn't.
They got it. They figured it out.
They figured this out. They literally figured this out in real time. They literally figured it out in real time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Like
so annoying.
It's
damn. Not a year.
Yeah,
not a year. Homie.
No,
they come to work. They work. Ooh, they good.
Yeah, no, you just gotta pay your respects. Like that's next level. It's really just it's chess. It's chess. That's it. It's chess.
Just really quickly, I know you're moving on. I just want to say I am genuinely happy for Andy Reid. He's getting all the flowers he has deserved for so long. I'm genuinely happy for him. He has been a genius offensive mind for decades now. He's just getting he's getting all the flowers, and he deserves all the flowers.
1,000%. And I know
And he's a good he's a good effing human being. He's
yes,
actually a good person.
yes.
So that just makes it all the much better. So anyway,
Easy to root for. Definitely easy to root for.
I wanted to say that. I'm very, very happy for him.
Easy to root for.
Genuinely am.
Yeah, the Philly thing will.
That's coming from a Bills fan. I really
this coming from right, exactly.
Genuinely happy for him.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, look, he built a franchise. Like I said, the Philadelphia's in the Super Bowl today, one on the shoulders of what Andy Reid built 20 years ago. So like he's literally built 2 championship franchises like that. How many coaches? And speaking of that, I'm glad you bring that up because he joins a select list of multiple Super Bowl winning coaches. Now I'm curious to see who do you think he passed. Let me bring up this list real quick. I would say it's fair to say he passes George Seifert.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a safe one.
Yeah.
All due respect to George Seifert. We're not shitting on George Seifert, but
sure.
I think he
Andy
passes. Andy Reid is clearly better. I think he passes. How about this one? This one might have a little controversy. I think he passes Bill Parcells. Parcells, yeah.
Yep, I knew you were going there.
I think he passes Parcells.
I agree with that.
I love Parcells.
I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that.
Jimmy Johnson, of course, he passes him. Tom Flores, yes. Coughlin, of course. Shanahan, yes.
You know what? I should think about the Bill before I just go. Absolutely, I should think about the Bill Parcells just a little bit more because Parcells is an influential mother bleeper. he was. No, I mean, like Parcells, I just want to think before I give a definitive yes. I just want to think on it just a little bit more. I think I have my argument in my head of why Andy Reid is better, but I don't have it clearly in my head yet.
It's debatable. It could be debated. I love Parcells. I love Parcells, but I would lean towards Andy Reid. Now, I still put him behind, obviously. Belichick, Lombardi,
Bill Walsh, Shula, all those.
Walsh.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
And he's not. And I can't listen. I'm gonna sound homerish, but Joe Gibbs. I can't three Super Bowls, 3 good quarterbacks. I can't put him at Joe Gibbs yet. He will pass Gibbs.
Ain't nobody remember Gibbs, but yes, sure.
No, and we forget
Gibbs was great during his time. My thing would be like I would question Gibbs' lasting impact on the game. That's why Parcells gives me more pause than like a Joe Gibbs.
But he won 3 Super Bowls with quarterbacks. Who's Gibbs' Hall of Fame quarterback? Nobody.
No, wait, really quickly. Who's Gibbs' coaching tree? Give me their coaching tree. Give me his coaching tree.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't have a great coaching tree. He doesn't.
There you go.
We forgot.
That's what I'm talking about. He did great things for him and his team in the time period, but Gibbs did not age well. His style, everything, none of that aged well. So I give it to you because he has 3 right now, but you are being a bit of a homer.
I am. One that I forgot to mention that has 2 as well, but we talk about impact. This is not without question. Tom Landry. I can't put him ahead of Landry yet. Like Landry, you talk about impact. I can't put him ahead of Landry.
I mean, that's one of the immortals.
Yes.
But that's one of the mortals. But here's what's fun. Like we're talking about Andy Reid alongside the immortals.
Right. Yes.
That's what's fun. That's where this conversation is now. And that's where it is. Be.
No, he is an immortal. No, that's not. I think it goes without saying that he's
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're having that conversation with him along the immortal. So it's just like, it's just how high does he get at this point?
Yep. I mean, again,
he gets right as high as him and Patrick Mahomes. They get as high together. So
it's
gonna be on.
Yeah. No, No, it's they're only going up, and he, like I'm saying,
So
I don't see him losing any zest for coaching. Like I don't see it. Like I see him.
if
I
you
see him.
gave me a number right now, I would say they get at least 4.
You know what?
I'm
I was thinking
I'm
about that.
giving him 2 more.
I think that's a
I
good number.
wasn't. I
I
was
say
yeah.
4 is
I
a good
wasn't
number.
like before. I wasn't there, but now I'm just like
I'm there now.
and
No, I'm
shit,
there.
I don't like. I might be lowballing it with 4.
No, 4 is a good
I'm
number. 4
back
because
now.
2
I'm
more
back
Super
at
Bowls
that.
is a
Yeah.
lot. That's a
So
lot. That's a lot. 4 is a good. 4 is a
what?
perfect number.
Heck, two Super Bowls is a lot.
No, I'm saying 2
Calling
more
4
is
is
a lot.
insane.
That's what I'm saying. 2 more is a
I
lot.
understand what you're saying. Just having 2 is a tremendous amount.
Yes.
The fact that I'm calling for 2 more is insane. That's insane. That's not a thing that should be able to happen. But I know what I'm looking at. I see it so very clearly. Those 2 mofos right there, they'll be in every
let's look at it's not as
conversation.
always. They're always gonna be
from
there.
now until I don't know, until
So Reid
especially
decides to retire.
like, and that's the other thing, because of the way the quarterback position is played, the longevity that's there, all the different things that's why you can call for him. He's 26. Who knows when he retires?
Yeah.
14 more years? Maybe. That's a lot of chances to get 2 more.
And the thing I'm looking at the landscape of the rest of the NFL, right? AFC, NFC. Let's just look at the AFC, right? We know Burrow's a beast, but I gotta see what Cincinnati does after they pay him, what that looks like for their franchise, right? You already have major question marks from a philosophical standpoint about your team. Like we've already done that dance from that standpoint. I don't trust the Chargers, despite Herbert. Like I'm sorry, like I just don't. Like I gotta see it when I believe it. Who else?
Here's the point, Real. You can go down the list on these other teams. Here's what I'm going to say. It actually doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You are not going to be able to build a team that would be that much more pronounced better than that quarterback. You just won't be able to. Unless unseen factors, like when Manning goes to the Broncos and crazy shit happens, right? Like stuff like that. Like unseen factors. But in terms of team construction, everything, that was the perfect team to build against Patrick Mahomes. Because everybody, like as you said so often, you eventually have to start playing those other players, those other quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
it just legit doesn't even matter. It just doesn't even matter. They're going to be in every championship game. They're just going to be there forever, just forever. And it's just going to, honestly, it will be, you can't win it every year. It will just come down to that.
Yeah,
you can't win it every year.
Can't win it every year.
But they will be in your way, no matter what team you are that has championship aspirations. Kansas City will be in your way from now until eternity, until Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are no more.
Yeah.
And he retires early. Patrick Mahomes, like they go all. It just. This is what this is. This is what this win. This is what all this defined as. We're here. And this is supposed to be their down year, Real. This is supposed to be their down year.
That's the scary part. That's actually the scary part. Like I said, there were people that were picking them not to make the playoffs. Those conversations actually were happening, believe it or not. There were people.
I want to go back.
We never got there. But I heard those conversations.
No, we didn't get to that. But I still want to slap me because remember we did debate around the teams that could win the NFC West, that could be competitive. I want to go back in time and slap myself. Like, how dare you doubt them? I want to slap me. How dare you? How dare you?
You talking about the AFC West? Yeah. We were high on the AFC West.
Yeah.
We were high.
Yeah.
We were very high.
Yeah, and it's
the AFC West.
Our Kansas City just laughing at us.
Yeah,
as they
probably did. They should have been laughing at us.
As they should.
AFC West.
stupid. They're all very,
Yeah.
very stupid.
Yeah, no,
100%.
yeah, there's nothing to like, I,
But
yeah, there's
I
not a
mean, like,
team.
but they, yeah. So I mean, like in all, like this is this was supposed to be their down year. This was supposed to be their down year, and they won the damn Super Bowl. Come on now. What else is there to say?
Yeah, no, no. Well, 22 weeks, 23 weeks. We have we
Whew,
made it. That's a long,
you did. You did.
a lot of weeks, a lot of
You made
NFL
it.
talk.
A lot
Of
of
course,
weeks.
the conversation of the NFL never ends. Combines and draft and all that good stuff. And, Bryce Young or JT Stroud and Aaron Rodgers, who's going, where he's going to end up. That will be ongoing
Mm-hmm.
throughout the course of the year. Because the NFL is in the battle with the NBA for off-season talk. So the NFL
Yeah.
now, they have to keep things going with in terms of the offseason, which in this year's offseason, they should have no shortage of stories to go on based on some of the things that could happen. Potentially from August to February, Rob Sapp was with us. We obviously thank him for joining us week in and week out. And we will see you around, NBA playoffs.
All right, sir. Appreciate you. Can't wait
All
to chat
right.
again.
Take it easy. That's
Right.
going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. Now, with the NFL season over, we are going to be transitioning into interesting time with the podcast because we'll have separate podcasts. But Snowfall next Thursday. So my Snowfall podcast will be premiering next Thursday. We'll break down episodes 1 and 2, season 6, the final season. This will be the third season that I break down and do a podcast on. Started out season 4 a couple years ago, back in 2021. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe bring in some guests who are some Snowfall fans. Possibly, we'll see what happens with that. So check that out. And also, we have some clips coming from this podcast. Enjoy your evening. So long.